Okay, the meeting will come to order. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Renzi.
Present.
Ms. Drumheller.
Present.
Ms. White.
Here.
And Mr. Allen.
Here.
Thank you.
And I think Mr. Dante is on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Mr.
No,
Denise.
I'm Dante.
Oh,
Mr.
Oh,
You moved
Lord.
me over.
I know, I know, I'm losing my mind. So, yeah, so we're here. Mr. Denise, you're on, correct? I don't hear him.
Mr. Denise, can you hear us?
Is he still on?
I have him on video, but he doesn't seem to be able to speak.
Okay. All right, well, Mr. Denise is on Zoom. We
Okay.
can't hear him right at this moment, so he can be marked present. We'll move to announcements and agenda modifications. Does anybody have anything? I would like to add an agenda modification in, I think last month's meeting, we talked about getting more information on memorial benches. So I'd like to throw that on the agenda just to see if we have any information about that. Next agenda item is the approval of the minutes from February 26th. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept that.
A second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So motion carries. Public input. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to speak to something that's not on the agenda? No? Okay. Unfinished business. Item A is our current project update.
Good evening, board. Creative Playground, I know many of you have been by, is moving along as planned, and we will have a groundbreaking on April 12th. I put the time of 4:30. We're not sure if that's going to be the time or not, but you will be getting a formal invitation at the time that the actual time is set, but it will be April 12th. And I encourage you to go by there and take a look. Antoine has done a fantastic job of bird dogging this project so that it gets in quickly. I mean, we started February 5th. We're going to open April 12th. That's quite an accomplishment when we're doing you're dealing with anything manufactured and having to be constructed on site and all that. So that's quite an accomplishment. So that's all I have for current project.
So do you think that on the ribbon cutting that there can be a little time when age restrictions don't count and we get to try some of the stuff out? It's amazing.
Well,
I mean,
here's the good news. Antoine's not going to be there that day. Do what you want.
really? You're not going to be here for the ribbon cutting? You're there every day.
Yeah, it would be nice to be there, but I have something I have to do.
Oh, okay. We'll
But I
take
will
lots
tell
of
you, I
pictures.
did go down the giant slide, and it's amazing how fast you get going.
Oh, that's great.
You look up at it, and you don't think it's so steep, but as you get older, it's steeper.
I think the kids are going to just really love that playground. Moving on to item B, which is committee member park updates. Mr. Renzi, you want to start?
Sure. As usual, Riverview is in perfect shape all the time. It's kept clean, and I'm glad that the people enjoy it. Stormwater Park, good shape. And back of us here, Freedom Park is fine. All my parks are doing well.
That's nice to hear. Would you like to go, Ms. White?
Easy Street Park, the playground is busy a lot. In fact, I have company now, and we took the kids over there, and I got to actually play with the playground equipment with them, which was a lot of fun. It's a very active park, and it's actually, the lights got put in, some of the lights that were missing or burned out are in. Looks good. Looks like the tables have been cleaned on a regular basis too, and benches. So everything's good there.
I think that park, the equipment, the new equipment, just exploded the utilization in that park. Even the ducks are having babies, so everybody's happy at Easy Street. Mr. Allen?
Yeah, my only update is on Bryant Court. I believe it's currently being wrapped up for swapping out some pieces of the equipment. I'd love to know more about the lifespan of the park equipment, the playground equipment on Bryant Court Park, and if we have an expected timeline for replacement, or if we can look into that.
I wanted to say something about Bryant Court. I went there yesterday and actually walked over to the playground and looked at it. There's a plastic ramp, something, I don't know, it's on the ground, like going into the mulch area, and it's buckled. I don't think it's that safe. You might want to, and I'm sure that the heat has something to do with that, but it's like a plastic walkover. I think that's what it was for. But might want to check it out and either take it out or see if you can flatten it more. But
And that's at Bryant?
At Bryant Court, yeah. And it's like at the entrance just before you get onto the mulch. And I think it's probably the heat. And it came with the equipment, I'm assuming.
We'll take care of that in the morning.
Yeah.
There are numerous concerns. That was one of them. But also the benches setting aside where presumably parents would be sitting waiting for their kids playing. The frame of that is made of steel, and the steel has got considerable rust on it. I'd love for your guys to go over and give a full audit.
Madam Chair, if I can address lifespan a little bit. You know, in Florida, playgrounds don't hold up very well. So if you get more than 10 years, you're getting your money's worth. So 10 to 12 years is the typical end of safe life use. And I think at Bryant Court, we're almost there, or we're about there. So that should be upgraded.
And I think the staff does have a rotational grid of which parks are coming up next.
It's in the CIP.
So
right.
maybe that's something that they can include next time, so we can have we've had many parks in the last couple of years that have been replaced, but if we could maybe get the list of where people are where some of the parks are in the rotation, that would be nice to have.
That would be fantastic.
And going to Bryant Park, because I hadn't been there for quite a while, the clean out of the trees, I think I was talking this afternoon about that, but they've really done a good job. The underbrush around each one of those palm trees and back in there, it's a really good clean out. It's a nice big size park. I was surprised. Like I said, I hadn't been there in a while, so I drove all the way around and then got out and walked to the playground equipment. It's a nice neighborhood park.
Madam Chair, can I address Riverview Park a minute? I forgot one thing.
Certainly.
Antoine, on Riverview Park, is there anything in the plans to repave the parking spaces on each side?
Are you talking about the north and south sides?
Yes.
I'll let Richard speak on that a little bit. He knows a lot more about it than I do about the revitalization of the park down there.
And I think we have if we can, item B under new business, I can address, because it's a Riverview Park planning, because we got some great stuff coming up, and I can address your issue.
Okay.
Under that.
Oh,
Right.
all right.
Mr. Denise, do you have anything about your parks? You can't see him anymore?
He's still in, but I still don't have any input coming from him.
Okay. We can't hear you, Mr. Denise, but if you want to, if you have a problem, if you'd email Antoine or Ron Paul, that would be really good. My 3 parks are really doing well. I don't really have any comments to make on any of my 3. So we can go to item C, upcoming events at Riverview Park.
Yes, we wanted to give you a list of all the upcoming activities at Riverview. This Friday night, and I won't go over all of them, but this Friday night is our Easter egg hunt and movie night. So the egg hunt, selfies with the Easter Bunny start about 5:30. The egg hunt will start about 6:45 or 7. That won't take long, and then the movie will start around 7:45. The movie is, I don't remember.
What time is the actual egg hunt?
About 6:45. I put a flyer up on each of your stations. And then the rest of the activities are just a standard concert in the park, et cetera. And then we have a very big Earth Day celebration, April 20th there. Will be quite a celebration.
If you don't mind, before moving too far from the March 29th, how is this information being disseminated to the community?
Website, flyers like you see, and a lot of social media.
A lot of social media?
I would encourage, I think I sent you guys.
Zoom's not letting me in for some reason.
Mr. Denise?
We also have the signs, on the street
Right.
The A-frames and the message boards.
message boards.
I encourage you, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, go to our page. We have Avery Jones is now with us, and she posts constantly about stuff going on in the city. I noticed today there's a road closure posted and that kind of stuff. So
They usually get a pretty good turnout for that.
Yeah. We're prepared for several hundred kids. So.
I'm still saying we need to, one year, do it 70 and over.
Oh, Lord.
Thank you.
We have to find a lot of egg places to hide that are at waste.
Right.
That's the problem with the 70 and over.
No, you give them those things with the
Oh,
grabbers.
the reachers. Oh, Lordy. Okay. I do have to say that Avery is doing a wonderful job on social media. She's been highlighting the park. She's been doing updates as things going on. I think she's doing a great job. So it's nice to have her on board for the city. And, I think she's done a great job. So, do you know if they're still having the Easter morning service at Riverview Park?
They are.
Okay,
6:30.
6:30, right?
Yeah.
Sunrise?
So, yeah. All right. Okay, we do have for the Sebastian River High School Band will be playing at Concert in the Park. That's always a real treat. It's pretty busy too because most of the band parents come. But it's a great band and they've done very well in the performances and awards this year. So that would be great to see a good turnout. There's a flyer touch. The shred, that was I hope there's a lot of social media about did y'all get it's in our packet about the shredding. That's going to be wonderful, and electronics. That's all at Riverview Park, right?
Well, then there's also a bike collection at Barber Street.
At Barber Street, in front of the sports complex.
Right.
For the big furniture and stuff, right?
I believe it's just bikes.
Oh.
I can't get in there, it's not letting me in.
I can't.
It says, for the Saturday on April 20th at Barber Street, it says, like household furnishings, couches, probably big items, small barbecue grills.
Yeah, that's going to be That's a boon for everyone.
And especially electronics, trying to get the best.
Yeah, I gotta go through some stuff here. All right, does anyone have any questions about upcoming events at Riverview?
Madam Chair, if I could make the Arts Club event that was supposed to be this past Saturday has been rescheduled to April 6th.
Okay, yep, that's here. Is Earth Day, is that when the centennial tent will be at that celebration too, since Earth Day is such a big deal? I think
Centennial
that's
tent will be there.
okay. All right, any questions? Is Mr. Denise coming through? Does he have something he'd like to say?
Mr. Denise? We're occasionally getting audio from him, but that's about it.
Okay, all right, we're trying.
I have one more question.
Sure.
So this list of events, fantastic. I want to go back to something we talked about last month where the county and the different cities, we all have different boards, different events being advertised to the same basic population. Are we currently in contact with the other groups for making sure that everyone is getting a wide view of what's happening here?
So if you're discussing, or if you're referring to like a master schedule, we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay.
That's going to be quite, because it's even hard to do a master schedule in a smaller, singular organization, much less 3 or 4 of them.
Right.
But that is on the list of those things that we need to try to accomplish.
Our social media person, Avery, right? Is Avery in contact with the Indian River County Avery and the Vero Beach Avery so they can at least?
I don't know that. I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that at this point.
Okay.
But we will, it is on our radar to attempt to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, should we move to item D, mangroves at Riverview Park?
Yes, Madam Chair, I just wanted to give you guys an update because we get questions from the board, we get questions from the public. You know, why can't you trim those mangroves at Riverview Park? We park there, we can't see the river. And our response is, well, those are protected. But I think the public thinks because they don't look alike, there are 3 different varieties of mangroves in that stretch. So folks see the big woody piece and think it's not a mangrove, but it is a different variety of mangrove. So what we did was have another expert, or an expert, go out and verify what we already thought. And yes, they're all mangroves, or there's a few sea grapes, which are also protected somewhat. But what Antoine and his crew do is if anything that they know they can remove, they'll remove. But it's not going to affect the line of sight, or it's not going to improve what people are complaining about. If we were to attempt, and attempt is the key word, to get a permit to trim, the furthest we can trim is to 6 feet. So if you're sitting in your vehicle, the tree, the bush, the mangrove is still going to be at least 6 feet tall. So it's not going to accomplish, unless you're in a large vehicle, you probably won't be able to see the river, even at that point. And then in a few weeks, it'll be grown so you can't see it at all. It's just a situation, and it really is a positive thing to have that much mangrove growth. If you go further north and you see at just south of Main Street Boat Ramp, the erosion and everything that's going on there with even the typical high tides now have an effect on it. They don't have that same effect where the mangroves are, because the mangroves and the riffraff are holding the shoreline in place. So from a environmental standpoint, it's a very positive thing. Unfortunately, you just can't see the river from that particular point.
Do all the varieties of mangroves actually root into that's what I was wondering, because I've walked that, I was looking at all of them, and I know which ones you see them, they root right in, but there's those other bushes that don't. It looks like they're just a large bush growing, and you're saying those are
Well,
different?
those are just the immature mangroves.
Well,
more than
but they
likely.
have a base, like in the ground.
Right.
There's no hanging.
They don't, I don't know the answer to whether all of them have feet. I mean, that's what we would,
Okay,
you know, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if all species do.
okay. But, yeah, if we could take out whatever is not mangrove, that would really be good. There was something else.
Are those trees planted, or do they just grow on their own?
Typically, usually they grow on their own unless you do a shoreline stabilization. The first thing that you do in a stabilization is plant mangroves, because that's, mangroves are natural grasses, you know, not turf, but those grasses that hold sand in place. But mangroves are the best.
You're saying only 6 feet this way, but what about on the sides?
You can't trim them, my understanding is you can't trim them at all unless it's an ingress-egress situation on the sides. Only, you can trim from the top, if it's not an ingress-egress. By that I mean if they're blocking a walkway, if they're blocking
Yeah,
a dock or a pier, you can
And-
trim them laterally.
And sea grapes are protected too?
I believe they are.
Okay.
How high would you have to go in authority to get an okay to remove
You have to
those?
go to DEP
DEP?
to get the permit.
Yeah. It's very
To
expensive
apply,
too.
to do what? No, to apply for a permit to trim them. You can't remove them.
You can never remove them? No?
No, I would say.
I don't know of an instance where that would be allowable, even if you mitigated them.
I think the Natural Resources Board would come and talk
Yeah.
to us in a very strong manner.
So I would just suggest anything that's not something that is protected to take them out, whatever it is, just any kind of opening would be great, because people do ask, and now I can tell them. So there's different kind of mangroves, huh?
At least 3.
Okay.
Well, so we've had this conversation for a while, and so I do know when there's not an event, if folks parked on the west side of the
Indian River Drive.
Veterans Memorial behind the fence, you have full river view. You're not quite as close, but you have full view of what's going on in the river and the two piers area. And the only other area that I thought about when I walk on the river is where we're going to be putting some benches and swings at the harbor across from what used to be the motel. If there could be any type of parking towards the river in front of that, that is a beautiful view of the river close up.
I don't know whether parking can be fit in the plan, but it's definitely a place that
That's a good
you
view
have a
place.
good view of the river.
Yeah.
But that is the location that I'm talking about that needs the shoreline stabilization, because it's eroding quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in the next section.
Did you want to speak about that? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure do you have anything that you want to speak about? Yes, at the end. Okay, all right, okay, all right. Item E is Volunteer of the Year, the draft. Thank you very much for sending that back to us to review. And we spent a lot of time on it before.
Well, I just want to give it to you to be looking at. You know, we don't need to make any decisions tonight. We updated it a little bit, changed the name a little bit. But I want you to be looking at it, thinking about it, and at the next meeting, give us some suggestions. We do have we've got plenty of time to create a program, but this is
The only piece, I think this looks really clean. And, where it says deadline is October 16th, the only thing that I would like to see somewhere on this form is if someone chooses to do a paper form versus going online to do it, what email you could send it to, or where to send it if you weren't typing it online. A lot of folks just do write versus that. I would like to, when we get this is the form in, I don't know if maybe we can accomplish that at the next meeting, maybe decide to have a final?
No, just some more detailed discussion about, because it'll give you a month to think about it, to look at it.
Okay.
Just some more ideas on,
So we'll make sure this is on the agenda again next month, because we're gonna need to try to get some of these out there. I would like to physically take some out to some of the not-for-profits and the folks that do things in the, within the city, because last time, and now we have someone on social media that can help with this too, but last time we had a horrible response. And this is our anniversary year, it'll be a big deal, and there's a lot of people out there spending time doing great things for our city that I think it would be nice to recognize. Anyone have any other comments on the form?
I do. I think it would be good for driving engagement even if you are not winning the Volunteer of the Year, you should still be listed as a runner-up or as a honorable
a
mention.
nominee.
As a nominee.
As a nominee.
As a nominee.
Yeah.
And who nominated you?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be good, yeah.
So you want us to go back through this again and
I
tweak it?
imagine
or-
we'll address this for the next two meetings, at least.
Okay,
if not
I
three.
didn't really see a whole lot of changes on this.
No, we beat this up, we beat the form up, but I think there's other operational things that you want to discuss.
And I want to make sure that the list of questions is what you want asked. Is there not any more that you want? Is there? No, I just don't want to,
Is this the one we did last year, though?
I think the form addressed, because this looks very much like what we
Because
It was
spent a lot of,
This is the one we did last year.
it's just updated a little bit.
Okay,
yeah.
and I agree with putting in an email address to send this to or drop off at the front desk here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the form's pretty clean. We can bring it back with, I think there's going to be some process questions. Who's going to go where? So we don't all do that. So would it help if this committee would bring or email to Ron a list of who we could hand carry to? Would that make, so I think if we, then we can at least have assignments so we're not duplicating effort.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So maybe for the next month, if everyone would think about where you have contacts and where you'd like to hand carry some of these, we can, in the meantime, email it, and that can be an agenda item for next month. Does that work? Okay. Good. Mr. Renzi, you have any comments on that?
I think you hit on something there. The area that I live in, it's a community, gated community, and they got a clubhouse, and we could put some of these in places like that,
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be good.
Yeah, I think the more the merrier, really, so we can have, recognize some of these folks that have retired here but give a whole lot of their time and effort, so that would be a great thing.
Oh, I do have 3 quick comments on this.
Sure.
So this is my first time seeing this. My first thought is this title, that's a paragraph. We could probably have that cleaned up a little so it's quicker to read. The second part is the form starts at the bottom of page 1, and then there's a bunch of extra space on page 2. I think having page 1 as the rules and page 2 as a single page nomination form would be a lot easier for anyone filling it out.
Well, and for people that are looking at it when it comes back in.
You mean moving
Absolutely.
these two?
Yeah,
It's gonna be
so
much-
where it says
5 and
nomination for
6.
volunteer of the year, have that be page 2,
Exactly.
and all the rest be page 1.
Exactly, and I think having name, phone number, and email for nominee and nominator, having those maybe side by side at the top would be a little easier to read instead of having just a row of 6. But the third comment is on the bottom of the second page with the single page form, I would love to have drop-off location.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking
Drop
about.
off and
Well,
email.
like a
Drop
return
off
to.
or email, or you can scan email.
Yeah, exactly.
Could they mail?
You thought I'd need
Physically,
2 months.
snail mail?
I guess it could snail mail to this location, right?
Yeah.
We put an address on it.
Okay, address, email, and drop-off location.
But I think the 3 questions are the 3 questions that we had decided on last time too. So just a slight verbiage difference, but it gives us the information we need without getting so deep that it becomes that difficult to do that. Okay, can we move on to new business, item A, which will be the find grants applied for?
I just wanted to give you guys the information that we will be applying for these grants. The city will apply for 6 in total. The only one that I don't have on this list is the police department is applying for a fine grant for a new boat, a new vessel. But I just wanted to keep you in the loop. Riverview Park design, you know, we applied for the Land and Water Conservation Grant last month or so. But there's when these grants come up, we want to apply for them to assist with design, because the design money we don't have to use out of whatever grant we get, we can use it for construction. So that's why we're being aggressive with different, and there'll be others for Riverview that come up to assist. Krabby Bills, you know, their issue there of the condition of the building. This grant is for engineering or evaluation of what can be done there. That grant is being managed out of the Development Services Office. Shoreline stabilization is for the area that we just discussed, the south of the Main Street boat ramp. So, you know, we had applied for a grant last month to dredge the Main Street boat ramp.
Right.
Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if the dredge material that's taken from the Main Street boat ramp is just moved over to shoreline stabilization of the bench and swing park? Don't know if that can be done, because there are certain size of granules and certain other things that you have to do to be able to locate dredge material for stabilization. But regardless, we must dredge the boat ramp, and we got to stabilize the shoreline. So in either case, we'll get it done. It's just the methodology is yet to be determined or permitted. The working waterfront dry line. Dry line is the pipe that goes out the dock that provides fire suppression water or provides water. The one at working waterfront failed inspection because it is, you know, it's in the elements, it's in salt water. So we have to replace that one. And then we will also be adding the one to the law enforcement docks that will be built over at Twin Piers.
So what does that pipe do?
When you charge it, it provides water to the end of the pier or dock.
Oh, okay.
So it's for fire suppression, or you may need it for other things. So those are the grants that will be going in April 1st. We're fined to help us make improvements and do some other fun things in the park system. We're going to be, yes, ma'am.
I'll wait till you're done.
I was just going to say we're going to be very aggressive with grants.
No asking, no getting.
Are these state grants? Are they matching grants?
These are, I don't know, fine grants probably are considered state grants, but the land and water conservation's federal money going through the state.
Are they matching grants or just?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
these
ma'am,
are
they're
matching.
matching
So this 100,000 that we were asking for, we're asking them for 100,000, we have to throw in 50?
No, we're asking them for 50, we'll throw in 50 to make it 100.
Okay, so we'll do 50, they do 50.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are matching.
But then in something like in the
Are these-
Riverview, in the Riverview case, as far as the design, assuming we get the land and water conservation, there's our match. So if we play it right, then it'll be a no net
Okay,
cost to our budget.
so these are all matching grants then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I ask a question on Krabby Bills? Why is the Parks Department involved in a restaurant?
We're not. That's why I said the development services is handling
Oh,
that. But we all, just like with police department and their boat, I didn't list it here, but it's all fine grant applications. But we're not involved with that.
okay.
Now, I think we have someone who would like to talk about this for public input. Come on up. If you just give us your name and address.
My name is Paul Halloran, Halleran. And my wife and I, Donna, moved here about 10 years ago to Sebastian, and we love it. We love it. And recently I retired, and I have been curious for a while about Parks and Recreation, and I thought I might visit a few meetings and maybe become helpful or maybe become more active. So that's the reason why I'm here tonight, is just to kind of see how the meeting goes. But also, my wife and I noticed that on US 1, very close to the end of Main Street, there is a blessing box that is there from the United Methodist Church on Roseland Road. Well, next to that blessing box, it's not it's similar to like a library box, but it isn't. It has food supplies in there. So they call it a blessing box. Well, next to it is a bench. And I would dare any one of you to sit on that bench because it's probably just going to fall. It's just going to break. But you had mentioned earlier about a memorial benches.
Yes.
Yes. I did go to the Roseland Church, and I asked them if next to that blessing box, if they took care of that bench, and they said no. They thought it might be the people that have the real estate office that's right there. That might be their bench. But then also, before I go to them, I thought I would come here, because benches are certainly something that the city
Richard,
provides.
can you address that?
I'm not familiar with the bench, but I will take a look at it tomorrow and talk to Public Works and see whether Public Works it's their responsibility.
It actually looks like it's on that real estate office land, and then there's the back road, and then the little strip mall behind there.
That's North Central is behind it.
North Central, yeah.
But the bench is actually facing and on US 1,
Yes.
right next to the little book. It's a book or food giveaway? I
It's
thought it was
It's
book.
a blessing box
It's
that
food.
gives away food.
It's canned goods, non-perishables.
And I have a picture or two that I could just show you, just so that you know what
Okay,
you're
I'll give you the
okay.
after the
Thank you
meeting.
for,
Oh, you're welcome.
thank you for sharing that. We always want to hear, things that we miss or people are concerned about. And that's something that we'll look at.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I also want, is there anything else? Throw this out otherwise.
No, I want to get to the benches too, but go ahead. You have something about the grants?
No, I'll wait.
Do we have any information on memorial benches?
Well, it is a little bit above on the list above the one calendar thing. But what my recommendation is going to be is to, instead of having a bench memorial and this memorial, have a memorial program, whether it be a bench, brick, tree, and that's what I'm putting together now. It's just some, standard operating procedures to run a memorial program and make it worthwhile and
Okay.
So if somebody would get online to the city or Parks and Rec, and there would be information if they were
there are
interested
brochures.
in doing that.
Right.
How we have been doing,
We have the bricks.
Well, you have the bricks at
No.
Riverview and at the Veterans
but
site.
we've been doing the benches, but people
There's a
do them
few.
on their own, yeah,
Yeah, there's a few, but it's like, it appears like it's 3 different programs.
okay.
And we want to consolidate and make it one efficient,
So that's going to take a little
Like-
time.
no.
No?
Next meeting, we'll have a draft.
Okay. Oh, that's good. You're up.
Okay, I'm still interested, and I haven't watched the city council meetings, I have to apologize, but I would hope that we can hold on. I don't know what the city's doing with that empty lot where the hotel was. If they were trying to sell
have no
that or
idea.
what, but I think it's a nice green area for us to hold on to. and I would like, I don't know if we can, how the rest of you feel about that property.
Which one is it?
It's where the old motel was, and it's
The
it's right
Harbor
next
Light.
to the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they took that down, so now
I think the
it's
city
just-
at one time was thinking of selling it. I don't know what they,
You know, that's not really in our
okay, but
wheelhouse. I would recommend maybe
it would
bringing
be
it
a
up to
nice Parks
council.
and Rec property to hold on to.
Have you emailed council members about it?
No, because
Do
I
it.
thought maybe we heard something about it. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that piece of property on the
I
waterfront.
don't even know what status the we don't have any information.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's, city council.
Who do we talk to about, who would I talk to about that?
Probably
Planning and-
development services to start with them, since if there's any, you know, any, interest
Development
by
service?
another party to do something there, they would know about it.
Developmental services?
Development services.
Services, okay. Okay, thank you.
Anyone have any other comments? Anything from staff? Okay, hearing none, this meeting's adjourned.
Thank you all.